Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, YouTubers. This is Jerry Diamond with How to Get Out of Babylon. And just my nightly talks from the easy chair. Fireside chats from the easy chair. There you go. I've mentioned before, John Rushdoony. He wrote the Institutes of Biblical Law, about a 900 page tome on the extrapolation of the Ten Commandments for all of society. But he did a series called, they were just called cassette tapes way back when, back in the old days when you didn't have iPods and wireless and Bluetooth and all that stuff. But you had to actually put a cassette tape in a player and listen to it. But talks from the easy chair, and I never could get into listening to him. I was able to listen to other people, but he was just very calm, and he would just talk about the heaviest and most involved theological and economic and financial and political problems that you could ever, be bored to death to hear. And he did it in a tone of voice that I tried one time to listen to one of them, and I'm like, and I had a friend that listened to all of them, just lived to listen to them. Oh my gosh, I just couldn't take it. So anyway, at least I'm not as boring as at least my talks from the easy chair are not as boring as those. So, things that we can get now that are cheap and you won't be able to get after shit hits the fan. Okay, now you'll be able to get these, but one of my things is, I'm calling it that because there's things you can get now and you should have. You should have them all the time. I'm not recommending this particular model, but there's another one I like that's just a flat, it's easier to put on. It goes, instead of, this is very complicated. This has to go behind your head and at the base of your neck. This has to somehow be balanced at the top of your head. I don't like them. There's flat ones that are just poofy. They're kind of accordioned out, so they fit fairly snugly, but they go behind your ears. Boom, done. So I like those. In any case, yes, this is just a dust mask, but this is your special NIOSH N95 approved dust mask. Theoretically good enough for H1N1, whatever the bird flu shit. So the bioengineered military concocted crap that they're doing. Of course, it has a little nose pinchy aluminum thing here. But whether you get these, you get the other ones, they're cheap. You see Fukushima, millions of Japanese wearing these things. Now, here's my point is, if there's a pandemic, what are you supposed to do and what are you supposed to have already? And by the way, that salt pipe, the Himalayan salt pipe that I put a link in that in one of the videos. I'll try to do it on other ones anytime I mention it. It was $9.99. Now it's $9.82. So it went down even. It comes with 2 packets of salt. It's one of the nice porcelain ones. You get pink Himalayan salt. Be sure, do not rely only on pink Himalayan salt. Put salt in there that is moist. What's the idea of a nebulizer? Moisture, getting moisture down in the lungs. Sailors don't ever get sick. People that are in salt mines never get sick, but there's moisture there. And put Grey Celtic or Portuguese or Sea Cortez, something with a higher mineral content and with a higher magnesium content, so that the salt will stay moist. I actually was looking for improvised salt pipes, DIY salt pipes on YouTube, and one lady wrote in and she said, the difference between Grey Celtic sea salt and pink Himalayan is like, you need like 1/10 of the time on the salt pipe. Where you need like an hour, you can, 5 minutes with Grey Celtic sea salt makes the difference. And I would agree with that, because when I got a pipe with pink Himalayan, it kind of irritated my throat. It was very dry. It seemed to dry my throat out and make it, so it was just uncomfortable to even use it. So I put in Grey Celtic, and whenever I put Grey Celtic sea salt in one of these, I will inhale, exhale, inhale, exhale, inhale, And on that third exhale, usually I'm asleep and I stop breathing, which means that, the lungs are parasympathetic. They work when they need to work. Well, it tells me that in 3 to 4 breaths on that last exhale, I have so much oxygen that my lungs go, oh, take a break, no big deal. It's not scary at all. It's just really cool. It's peaceful. So, but what am I saying? I've talked about that before. Salt, okay? Look at the Salin device, S-A-L-I-N, or a saline fan, a salt fan. Look up salt fan. 200 and some bucks, and you can see what it is. The pictures show pretty well if you know what you're looking at. It has what it is just a fan. Do you have a fan in the house? A box fan, a square fan, whatever kind of fan, smaller one. All it is a plate, a cage, okay, maybe ½ inch thick, maybe ¼ inch thick, with salt chunks in it. So the air blows through that salt. Duh. Can you say air salt pipe, air room, whole room salt pipe is what it is. It's just putting the particles out, blowing air through the salt. Well, same thing you do when you're inhaling through a salt pipe. Inhale through your mouth, exhale through your nose. Okay? And just for those of you who haven't seen other videos, this is a salt shaker. Yes, you get them at Golden Corral. Enjoy, capital N-J-O-Y, is one of the name brands. They're all the same, but it's one of the name brands. And French's, yeah, like French's mustard. But there's a plastic thing in there. Put your thumb here, put your other thumb on top of that, push down. Voila, the bottom's open. There's Grey Celtic sea salt in there. Inhale through your mouth, exhale through your nose. See, I'm asleep already. So, dump the white salt out. And sometimes they're full enough that you have to either peel the thing off and get it wet and get some of it that way. Or, if you're real careful, there's barely enough in it, you can get it at a little bit of an angle, like a 45-degree angle, and you can get that down to where you can push it. If it's full, packed up there, you can't do that. You have to peel it off and get water in it, or shake enough of it out to where you can. If you're in a hurry, use water. If you're not in a hurry, sit there for 5 minutes, 10 minutes, 15 minutes, and shake it out. So, my point is, whatever kind of dust mask you use. Now, if you can afford Israeli gas mask, Russian gas mask, we had gas masks for the kids. We had all kinds of stuff. We also like ozone. We sold Alpine Air. Well, ozone and rubber do not go well together. Yeah, my wife had a pair of boots under the bed. Poof. The heels were practically disintegrated. The gas mask kind of gone. The tubing, they don't work too well without the tubing. They have a canister, like on a kid gas mask, especially the canister goes down in a pouch on their side, and just the mask is on their face, so they don't have the weight or the obstruction of a big, huge canister here, or two of them. So, anyway, if you don't have that kind of stuff, this, with, just make a salt brine, dip them, hang them up to dry, or spray them with salt, a real heavy salt mixture, whatever. Soak it in salt, then you have a saline mask. Salt sterilizes, salt sterilizes, salt sterilizes. Salt preserves hides, it preserves food. It'll preserve pork, it'll preserve steak, it'll preserve meat, it'll preserve you. Use it. We are the salt of the earth. Salt is grounding. It's negative ionized, negative charge electricity, and it will save your life. Okay, so cheap things that we can get now that you're not going to be able to get later. Oh, what is that? Mark, it must be time to get up and read Lights Out. Okay. Wind up alarm clocks, I bet they don't even make them anymore. Maybe they do. But, every day in the book, like the first few chapters, Mark woke up, Mark set his alarm for whatever. So yeah, West clocks Elgin. The Elgin feels a lot heavier, but they both have a push button. The Elgin seems, and they look like they both have, you know, glow in the dark hands. This one though, I like the West clocks better. The wind-up mechanism is about exactly the same. Setting the alarm is the same. This one, however, has a, you have to know where it is and reach back behind here to turn that off, or you have to just pick the whole thing up. But there's just a little, tiny little, rough, gnarly little junky thing in there that you push. Whereas the West clocks it's right on the side of the deal, the mechanism. You know, if it was night and you were getting up and you didn't want to wake nobody else up, it'd be kind of that one would be a little pain in the neck. This one is right here where I can see it, feel it, I know where it's at. The other one I have to reach around there with my left hand, and that's not my good hand. And like, okay, there's that gnarly thing. Do I push it in? Do I pull it out? Do I go up? Do I go down? This one you just like, you know, I know where it's at. I can see it real easy. So, alrighty. And the Elgin, you have to, looks like you have to get a little teeny tiny screwdriver to set the time. The West clocks, boom, it's already set. See? One o'clock in the morning, almost. That sucks. Once again, I'm doing what I'm doing because I believe in doing it. And like I said, solar powered watches are not a bad thing to, you know, have. This one I guess got tired on when it was en route. But the second I put it by a light, it started working. But it's not working right now. Must need some serious charging. I'm going to keep my eye on it because if it's got to be in the light to work, that's just stupid. That means it's pretty worn. Now, even with the light on it, it's not working now. It's got to be really bright. Anyway, getting my money back on that one. Or hope I didn't bother not to read the, yeah, this thing doesn't really work good type thing. You know, that's not the way to buy stuff, but it happens. Yeah, and that's stupid. Get in a hurry or something. Anyway, you know, do your research, do your own research, do your own research. Alright, that's it. I don't think there's anything else laying around here I was going to talk about. I'll do a chapter, and then I am going to hit the hay, baby. Hit the hay. Hit the hay. Alright, good night. Yep, that's it. Alright. Buenos. No cheese. Buenos, no cheese.